Good afternoon, everybody. Auronnj here with another War of the Visions video, and today we have two new Vision cards to preview. We have one new Esper to preview, and we're going to talk about some tower loot that's coming out that is really dang nice. So let's get right into it, and let's see what I'm going to do this week, what you should consider doing this coming week, and what's worth for your account, what should you be thinking about getting. Alright, let's kick it off with the Black Rose Helena Vision card. And I think you have to kick off talking about this card in two ways. One, I think you need to compare the global card to what they got in JP, because it looks like there's some significant changes to the card. What you see on the screen right now is the JP version of the card. Now we're going to compare that to what I believe global is getting in a second. But first we need to talk about this artwork, because my god. Helena is looking nice on this artwork. This is a cool looking card. If you were getting cards only on artistic style, I think you got to pull this one. It's a must pull. But most of us aren't dropping 10k viz just for art. So let's talk about the card itself and its stats and things and see if we should get it for that reason. Alright, first of all, the statistic line is probably staying the same. We're probably looking at getting 252 HP, 4 Spirit, and 184 Magic. That's really good. And it's really good for mages and support characters, obviously. Your magic support characters, not like your Cecils, right? Then you go to the unit effect, and I believe this is also staying the same in global. For your staff-wielding characters, Time Mage, Black Mage, Staff Mage, etc., you're getting an accuracy buff. Accuracy buff. I don't know why I said that so weird. Really good for characters like Skull, who don't have access to a 100% hit ability. If you get this card, it's a great card to put on him, because now when he casts his Thunders or his Limit Break or whatever, he's going to have a lot better chance of hitting, so we like that. At this point, though, we have to look at the bottom half of this, and we need to start looking at the global version, or at least what they're telling us the global version is going to be, to decide if it's worth. Because I would say if we were keeping this card just like this, it seems really worth to me. Specifically that dark buff on the bottom, where you get 25 accuracy for dark allies. Man, that's good. That's really good. An agility accuracy card, really good. But that's probably not what we're getting if I'm reading the news right. So now I'm going to throw onto the screen what we've seen that we're getting based on the news for global. Let's start with the party effect. It looks like we're still getting the agility increase. And this is a very significant buff. A 15% agility buff for your party. This is the biggest one we've gotten since the Ramza card back in the Final Fantasy Tactics original banner. Barely anybody has that thing, and barely anybody has that thing maxed. Because maxing vision cards back then was, you're talking about dropping hundreds of dollars for just the vision card. There was no pity. There wasn't just shops in a bingo, or shards in a bingo board or something like that. You just had to go pull dupes. And that's awful. So a lot of people passed on that, or at least figured out how punishing the game was back then and was like, I don't have deep enough pockets to go for that. That's the thing I was in. But this card is a lot more accessible. We're going to probably have that 10k step up. We're going to have bingo boards, I imagine. We're going to have shards in the shop. If you want to max this card, I think you can. Now, based just off the card's stats, unit effects, and party effects, it might already be worth getting for some people. A 15% agility buff for manual PvP is incredibly good. If you are somebody who really loves manual PvP, just being 15% quicker than the team you're fighting against, if you're fighting like them, you get what I'm saying, is super valuable. That's more turns, it's earlier turns. It's really awesome. In auto PvP, it is also good to be fast. It is also good to have more agility for evasion. It's also good to have more agility for the ability to tweak the agility of your team to do what you want them to do when you want them to do it. Agility is one of the most powerful stats in the game, and this card gives a massive buff to that stat. Now, what is global getting besides, what's different than global and JP? Well, global is getting a Helena Leonis agility buff. Now, I don't see a lot of Helena in the game. She's a good support unit, right? Like, I think she's a good support unit. I'm going to be real. I've never used her that much. I don't know how big this agility buff on her is going to be. If it's something massive, like 20, 25%, maybe people will start using Helena. I don't know. If you're just a fan of MR Helena, okay, maybe this card is, I would say just get this card. It's her card. If you're somebody who's like, I play MR Helena, get this card. It's for her, obviously. But okay, so that's weird, honestly. It's hard to give that a value because it's like for a unit that nobody really uses. But now let's pay attention to this ability. Shadow Flare deals non-elemental damage small to targets within range based on caster's magic stat and draws targets one panel inwards and lowers area resist for 3 turns. So I picture that as like a gravity spell that sucks everybody into the middle. Now when I read the card's effect from JP, it says this: 121% damage, 100 chance to knock back targets by 1 square, and decrease area resist 20. Okay, I really like a knockback more than I like a gravity effect. Maybe. Like, I guess if you land this perfectly and you pull their enemy front line backwards and pull the enemy back line inwards, like maybe you're setting up for some AoE wombo combo thing. But honestly, the AI is probably not going to use this because you're putting this card on a mage, and mages just have more damaging AoE abilities in a lot of cases. Like, Skull is going to choose to use his limit break over this. Medina is going to choose to use her limit break over this. It's hard to imagine the AI doing it. So I don't know that this is a nerf or a buff to the card because I just doubt the AI's ability to use the activatable here. So what do I think about this card? Well, if it does not come with the accuracy plus 25 for dark units that JP got, I think it's nerfed. I think that accuracy up was huge for your dark units. And I think if it doesn't get that, a lot of people in Global will pass on this card. And I don't think they're wrong to do that. Personally, I will probably still pull for it. But I spend money on this game, and I'm comfortable spending money on this card because I don't have another way of buffing my team's agility with like Rams's vision card. So I've been looking forward to this. It's very highly ranked in JP. If you pay attention to rankings or give them any sort of bearing at all, this is one of the highest ranked JP vision cards. And so apparently it's really good. The stats on it are really good. I like playing mages anyway, and I think that running 3 mages with 3 magic buffing cards puts you in like way overkill range. So I would like to have another vision card to like maybe replace Ramuh with or something like that. And this one seems like a great option for that for me. Okay, that was the most in-depth analysis we're going to do here. The rest of this video is going to be considerably shorter because the rest of these things are a lot easier to talk about. Let's go to the tower, and specifically to the rings we can get from the tower. Alright, it said in the news that you're going to be able to get the water ring again. That's the one on top here. This ring is really nice for water units. We have maybe some like mono water teams sneaking up on us with Titus coming out later, etc. It gives 20 fire resist, 15 water resist, and evasion minus 20. Alright, just disregard the evasion minus 20. Nobody cares about that. At least not these units that are wearing it. They don't care about it. Fire resist 20, really good. Water resist 15, really good. The stats on this for an accessory are great. 346 HP, 80 attack, 80 magic, 6 defense, 6 spirit. Just get this thing. If you don't have it, it's really good. Speaking of really good though, let's go on to the light ring that is new to the tower this week. This thing is a banger of an accessory. It's really similar to the water ring, except it's the light version, which gives dark resist and light resist, which are just more prevalent damage types in the game. And this is going to be more useful because of that. Like, think of the way this synergizes with a character like Sakura, who can also buff your dark and light resist. You're talking about approaching like a 50% plus dark resist unit if they're wearing like a Demon Wall Esper, something like that. This ring is a must get, in my opinion, if you're competing at a high level. The stats on it are the same as the water ring, so the stats are great. And then you get poison and doom resist down 25. Like, oh no, when zombie Ryryu limit breaks me, now I'll get poisoned like I did anyway. Like, nobody runs poison and doom. So the negative on this is like even more of a who cares than the minus 20 evasion from the water ring. It is probably a direct upgrade, although I don't really want to say that because it's for different units. They're both great. Get both of these rings if you don't have them and max them out. It was not hard to max the water ring. I think I had to go through the tower like 2 times. It's probably going to be something similar like that for the light ring. You won't regret it. Get this item. Alright, if you want a guide on like how to do the tower, Dr. Diggs does some really good tower videos. So there's some of his best videos. Those in his like salty I'm sorry for this other thing videos that he does. Well, he's done one of. That was hilarious. But yeah, his tower guide videos are great. If you need help on the tower, watch those. Or just like, you can send me a message in Discord or something. I'll be happy to help you out. Anyhow, last thing we're going to talk about is the ice bird. Whatever it's actually called. Glacier bird, whatever. It's an esper and vision card combo. So first of all, I always like to pull these. So I hope I do pull this one while I'm stepping up for the Helena card, because you get the esper as well. And in fact, let's start with the vision card. Here's what JP got on the vision card. And it looks like we might not be getting these like mono element buffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get that very bottom category there, where we get that 15% ice resist for the party. But even if we don't get it, this vision card is still pretty good if you want to run mono ice teams. And there's a lot of ice units that are really nice. So the stats, 272 attack, or 272 HP, I wish it was attack, 72 attack, and 84 magic. Nice and balanced, I like that. Unit effects, ice attack up 15, party effects, ice attack up 20. Mono ice team, hey, that's pretty good. We like those stats. So I'd be happy to get this card, and if I did, I would consider maxing it because I have some really fun mono ice teams in mind, specifically with the girl that's coming up on the screen for this next picture. Let's talk about the esper for a second, because I really like this esper, especially for an MR esper. You see the stats. Let's start there, right? 794 HP, that's okay. 73 attack, that's okay. 14 agility is like average. So not blown away by the stats. However, it's an MR, so I didn't expect it to be blown away by the stats. But look at its board. Especially look at its board with the things I highlighted on the right for Victora. Ice attack plus 25, that's really nice. Attack plus 15%, that's really nice. And missile resistance 15. Victora already has really nice missile resist, so this card just seems to synergize really nicely with her as some kind of anti-missile unit in a comp with like Agrius and a support or something like that. So I really like this esper for Victora specifically. And if I get it, she's the first one I'm going to build Resonance with. If you randomly happen to come into this thing, I would suggest strongly considering maxing this out if you run ice DPS units like Victora. Another nice thing about this is even though it only has 28 magic, ice attack is good for physical and magic. Not that we have this like plethora of ice mages out there, but there's Medina, right? Like we got Medina and people like to use her. So anyway, I like them. I'm not pulling specifically for them. Like I'm not going to chase the ice bird, but I am going to pull for the Helena Vision card. And if I get the ice bird, I will be very happy to pursue maxing him out. Alright, that's it. Pretty short and simple video today, guys. I'm excited for the agility buff that this card brings because I like to run teams that do a lot of damage and just go at people. So being faster fits my playstyle. I'm excited for Helena's Vision card, and I'm excited for Tower. Tower is always kind of fun. I was actually able to auto the whole tower last time and then auto it a second time. So I'm going to see if I can. I doubt I'll be able to do that on the tougher floors, but it'll be fun to see how far I can auto, and then I'd be happy to step in and, you know, manually actually play the game a little bit. So cool. Hope you guys liked the video. Check out the other videos if you did. Throw me a subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all in the next one.